Welcome, beloveds. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Nikita. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to bring to you all another masterpiece. The intention is to share more, to share my own understanding of it, of course, from a psychological point of view, but also I find this work very, very meaningful. It's so basic, so simple, yet it demands lot of courage from our side to even read this work and then to implement it in our everyday life. So, welcome to the journey of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm sure many of you, most of you are familiar with this work. You may have heard about this book or you may have read it. Still, you are welcome. If you are already aware about this work, meaning you have read it, or you are new, doesn't matter, because my intention is to take you deeper from a psychological perspective also, and also from the main points, the experts from this book, to help you really understand the meaning of agreement, and most importantly through my own understanding and through practical exercises, you will actually start creating a good change, a better change in your life. It's not about you thinking that do I need to actually make a choice to change or not. It's not about that, because this work, the Four Agreements, it's very basic. It has to do basic. I don't mean basic means simple. This is a very challenging one, but it is something that will resonate with you, with all of us. It's something that resonates with all of us. So I'm sure you are gonna love it. And also, I love to live with the teachings of the book. So it's not about the books I have read or the books that you have read so far. It's about actually living this, living such priceless works. Today's session is about introduction to agreements. So we'll see what are agreements. Okay. Now, from our childhood days till now, we have consciously and unintentionally agreed upon or accepted many things in our lives without actually knowing or understanding their purpose. Now, is agreements are like our beliefs, our belief system, surely referring to this. But here it also means that as a child you have learned belief system, and then you have agreed upon, meaning you have made agreement to those beliefs that you have learned as a child from your parents, caretakers, teachers, relatives, friends, society, as a whole, through the process of socialization. And without questioning, without challenging them, we have just made an agreement to whatever we have learned as a child. Now, whatever you have learned as a child, referring to your belief system in particular, is very important, because that is what is shaping your adult life. Okay, and therefore it's very important to consider. Now, there are certain unquestioned choices that we have just made. For example, speaking a particular type of language because you are born in a family or in a particular culture, and then religion, practicing a particular religion. You have got your own name without even your own choice, isn't it? So, and the big one is the belief system. Now, as a child or in those early formative years, we form a belief system about ourselves, about other people, and the world based on the kind of response or feedback you have received from the world around you. So, for example, as a child, if you were appreciated for all the good things, all the creative things that you showed your parent or teacher or any caretaker, and you were appreciated for that, you might have formed this belief about yourself that I am worthy, my ideas are worth considering, I am lovable, like that. Or it could be I am unlovable, I am not accepted. Then, so this is about the self. Then we, as a child, we learn to form the beliefs about other people. People are nice to me, people enjoys my company, people loves me, or people are there to take advantage of me. They even as an adult, if you have this thought that I am very helpful to everyone, but people are there with me, or they are there for me only when they want something from me. It's again coming from your belief system. Then beliefs about the world. The world is a friendly place, the world is a pleasant, enjoyable place to live in, the world is so friendly. Or there is so much injustice in the world is so unfair, or it is a hostile world, not a friendly one. So as a child, we learn this belief system about the self, other people, and the world. And because as a child we had no opportunity to question any of the things that we have learned through the method of observation, or through imitation, or through the process of socialization, whatever it is, as a child we had no opportunity to question any of the beliefs that we have actually adopted, or any, and based on that the choices we have made. But this plays a very important role in our lives. There are a lot of information that we have learned that was just passed on to us, and we have stored within us without actually questioning it, because as a child we had no opportunity to do that. Okay. And so this way, based on whatever beliefs and ideas we have adopted about ourselves, about other people and the world, we have made agreements to it. As in, you have agreed to it, you have accepted it, and it is still ruining that's also the right word, ruining or ruling your life as an adult, whether you are aware about it or not. Well, now you will know as you will attend these sessions. Let us first understand how we have come to learn this, because author has used this term called domestication of humans. Just like animals are domesticated, we humans are also domesticated through the process of socialization, meaning how we have learned everything. So society teaches us, or society hooks our attention in so many ways. Attention is a very important factor here. Most of the things that we do, that is in a way to get attention. If it's in a healthy manner, of course it's not a problem, but here let's focus on how we are trapped in this, and what all and how good we are as pretenders. Let's put it this way. So suppose as a child, whenever you did anything good, and whatever parenting style your parents adopted, then you were rewarded or punished for whatever you did, and based on that you have come to learn certain beliefs or things about yourself. As in, if you did something good, maybe your parents said you are a good boy or you are a good girl, and that's how you have come to learn about yourself, that whenever I'm talking to those early formative years, okay. So as a child you learn that, okay, whenever I'm getting good marks, whenever I'm putting the extra effort and work, whenever I'm doing certain things, I am being appreciated. Otherwise I am rejected, okay, or I am punished. Now this is coming from the principle of reward and punishment, where it holds very important. This learning principles hold lot of importance in psychology. I will be sharing from this perspective right now, as in whatever beliefs were rewarded, whatever beliefs feelings, choices, and behaviors were rewarded by your parents, those are the beliefs that you have actually adopted and you have agreed upon. So, reward means anything, that reward is any behavior that is likely to happen again in the future, and punishment we do, that is to suppress the unwanted behavior. So, suppose you did something, a good social service, meaning you helped someone as a child, and or you scored a really good marks, or you stand out first in any of the competition, and your parents and teachers rewarded you. So you learned as a child that yes, this is something wherein I am getting accepted, I am getting loved, I am appreciated. So you are likely to repeat that particular or those particular set of behaviors again in the future because they were rewarded. Likewise, punishment was given to you to the punishment in psychology means to suppress the unwanted behavior. So punishment was given to you, meaning any negative stimulus was given to you to, so that you don't repeat any of the unwanted behaviors that your parent didn't want it. So suppose the same thing, you got good result, you did all anything good, but it was not that appreciated or it was rejected in some way, then you may have learned as a child that my ideas are not worth it, what I do doesn't matter, I am not worthy, I don't deserve it. And the most painful and the deepest belief that all of us share is I am not good enough. Okay, so what happens is the society hooks our attention in so many ways, and we do a lot of things to make sure that we are accepted. The author says that in now the generation is not that fearful of death, but more fearful of rejection. And how we make agreements to these beliefs. As a child, whatever belief you have formed about yourself, people, and the world, that belief again getting repeated, then it becomes a belief. Initially it is a thought or idea, but because of its repetition, it just sets into your system, meaning you have internalized as a child whatever you have learned from this figures, the authority figures in your life, that becomes your belief. You have repeated, the information gets stored into your system, and you have repeated, and even outwardly it gets repeated, as in someone rewarding certain things, meaning appreciating appreciating or reinforcing more of those ideas that yes, you are lovable or you are not lovable. It gets repeat, and then you have made an agreement to that belief that okay, when I do certain things, I am getting all attention and appreciation, meaning it's the right thing for me. Okay, so this is how the agreements happen. And also that we have become a pretenders, we do things to please others, and in the process what happens is we lose our authenticity. We try to be who we are not, and we make sure that what we actually are, others should not see it. This is so true, especially for the ones who are suffering from psychological disturbance from within. If they are going through something which is more than sadness, as in depression, or insecurities are there, or anxiety is there, they make sure that they hide all of those sensations, thoughts and feelings, because they don't want others to know about it, because of the fear of rejection or fear of being judged, right? And again, this is very deep from a psychological perspective, but still I am sharing again. But again, coming to this work, what happens is that we get so trapped into the beliefs that we have already learned, and then when certain adult experiences happen, it takes us back to that point. So suppose as a child, if you have learned that I am not lovable, and then as an adult you experience rejection in relationships, in most important relationships, or even at work, it triggers to that belief system that you have already made an agreement upon, that I am unlovable. So this belief system is not something that each one of us should be educated about, but to be psychoeducated about it, and to make sure that what are those, like what are your belief systems, so that you can change it for your good, because it is ruling your life as an adult. Then comes then again referring to the, so this is how we are domesticated as humans, as in we are learning something from the society, parents, teachers, caregivers, friends, relatives, everyone. We have formed a belief about ourselves, world and other people. We have repeated it, as in we have made our agreement to all of those particular beliefs. Now there could be many, you don't have to count it, but definitely you have to make a list of it to be clear about it. Then now as an adult, you don't need a teacher, a parent, a relative, or any caretaker to remind you about your belief system, because now you as an adult has become the worst, not the worst, but in many cases yes, you yourself have become the judge of yourself, because we tend to be worst judge about ourselves and worst critic also, right? So author calls this process, this is a good word, the auto domesticated animal. This entire process makes us auto domesticated animal, as in now because of your formation in those early years was such that now it, and now that you have internalized it so much that you don't need any outside judge or a critic to tell you what is wrong with you, or where you have made a mistake, or so on and on. If something like, if you have failed to do certain things, let's say in the past, and now even if you start from a new perspective with all new tools and techniques, you are still likely to have that this thought, this predominant thought, that remember how you have failed last time, how you have failed in the past. You know, those things might come up, and depends on how you choose to respond to it. But the point is that we have domesticated ourselves according to those belief system now, which you have learned as a child, meaning the agreements that you have made, and still the process of reward and punishment that goes on, right? Now I want you to reparent yourself with me in this series. That is the commitment I want from you. Are you ready to reparent yourself? We don't have to blame or judge anybody else, but we can definitely learn and relearn certain beliefs, the new beliefs, and we can make the new agreements. And therefore I have just chosen this work, the 4 agreements, so that I can share good exercises and I can explain my own understanding about it from a psychological perspective as well. And what happens that it's important to reparent yourself with reparent yourself, so do that with me in this series. And why this beliefs and everything is so strong? Because this becomes truth for us. Our beliefs are the mirrors through which we see and perceive, and we know everything about ourselves, about life's experiences and everything in the world. We become our own judge, we become our own victim, and this is how the cycle of blame, guilt and shame comes in, which the experience of which could be different for each one of us. There are certain beliefs that you have learned as a child which makes you feel so safe. So even if it is traumatic, even if it is unhealthy, even if it is ruining your life, just because you feel safe, you may continue to do it. as in certain things you may have learned as a child which you prefer to avoid, for example, then it shows in the symptoms of anxiety. Of course, in different people, different situations, the symbols will change, the symbolic interpretation of it will change, but those are the safe behaviors, the safe avoidance behaviors that you have learned, and you are continuing to do so even if you know that it's harmful for you. And the point is that, yeah, another important point is about fear. Lot of the things we do that is in fear, because we don't want to lose what we have, we want to feel safe, and we like familiarity in whatever we have already learned about. Okay, but I just want you, I invite you to take on this journey with me, wherein you will learn to reparent yourself with the help of this book, The 4 Agreements, and I'm just so willing to share my own understanding about it through exercises, practices, and other important explanation, meaningful insights. And it is possible to reparent yourself, and also you will learn about all the agreements that you have made, and the 4 agreements, which are so basic and simple but so important, which if you practice correctly will really help you to bring really good outstanding change. So I hope today's session has helped you. We discussed what are agreements, how we have come to learn those agreements. Thank you so much.